Good morning from our backyard. I recently visited two plant festivals, one in Belgium and one in the Netherlands, and of course I could not resist and I bought lots of new plants. So I thought I would do a plant haul video and show you some of the interesting edibles that I got. The first plant festival was at Castle Hex in Belgium and the other one was at House Bingerden in the Netherlands. Both of these places have a very beautiful vegetable garden, so they're worth visiting for that reason too. And plant festivals like this are a great way to see lots of nurseries at one time, because if you would have to visit them it would take a long time, but a lot of breeders, a lot of nurseries come to plant festivals like that, and if you want to buy plants you can get them from people who are very knowledgeable and will give you great advice. Most of these nurseries ship abroad too, within Europe, sadly not to the US, and I will put a link in the description so you can check them out if you're interested in any of these plants. The first nursery I want to tell you about is a Belgian nursery called Kruisbessenproeftuin, which means something like gooseberry test garden, and they have a great selection of berries and other edible plants. And I bought from them in the past a lot of plants, but now I wanted to get some hardy mini-kiwis, and I asked for ones that have purple or red fruits. So I got two female plants, because it's you need a female plant and a male plant usually to get pollination and to get fruits. And the one of the female plants is Scarlet September, and the other one is called Bingo and should have beautifully purple fruits. And I also got one male plant, and that one is called Vema. And I have another climber, and that's Schisandra arginensis. I grew that one before, but it started flowering and never fruited. But this should be a cultivar. It's called Sadewa number 1. It should be a cultivar which will fruit, so I'm hoping for that. And we're planning to build a pergola in the garden, so I'm buying lots of climbers to plant next to it. Hopefully we'll manage to do that before we go on vacation. Another plant I got is this walnut tree from Nursery, the Smallekamp, which is specialized in walnut trees. They have many different varieties, and normally walnut trees will grow to be very large trees, so they're not suitable for small yards. But this is a miniature walnut tree. It's called Mini Multiflora number 14, and it will only grow to about 1.5 to 2 meters, which is about 5 to 7 feet. So it's a great solution for people who have small yards but want to grow nuts. And I grew this one before actually, but I planted it out last fall I think, and it froze in April when we got a very severe frost. So I talked to the nursery about it. They kindly replaced the tree, but they advised me to keep it in a container for the first 2 years, and only then, when it's a bit bigger, to plant it out in the garden. So that's what I'm going to do this time. I also got some plants from Nursery Tuingoed Volks, which is specialized in perennial plants. I got this elderberry, which is called Black Lace, and it has these beautiful dark purple leaves and pink flowers. It will probably give a smaller harvest than the wild elderberry, the species, but it has a bigger ornamental value, so it's something to keep in mind for edible landscaping. And I also want to try it out in my garden before I recommend it to clients when I do design. I got this ornamental sage too, which is a great bee plant, though not edible. Well, it's not poisonous, but not really a herb. And this Achillea, which is called pomegranate, and it has pink reddish flowers. So I'm looking forward to this one. Another specialized nursery that was present in both these plant festivals was the Dutch nursery called Joosten, and it's specialized in iris and hemerocalis, daylilies. Daylilies are some of the best edible perennial flowers, so I got two varieties. This one is called All American Plum and Angel Rogers, There is difference in taste in daylilies, but I mostly selected this for their colors to fit my planting scheme. I want to plant these under my apricot and peach tree, and I'm going with kind of pink purple color scheme. I also bought lots of herbs, as I always do. Some of them are pretty well known, like different varieties of thyme, because for some reason we have trouble growing thyme and it often dies in the winter, so I will try to find a good spot for it, well drained and sunny. I also bought 2 varieties of mint for my husband, who is something of a mint collector. He's also the one who always makes herb tea in our household. He likes to go into the garden in the morning to pick some herbs for tea, and mint is his favorite. This is grapefruit mint, and this is banana mint. We tested these, we made tea with them, and my husband says he can detect the grapefruit flavor in this one. I'm not sure about the banana one, and it's definitely not my favorite for tea, but it's nice to have a variety. It's getting sunnier and sunnier, so I had to go and get my sun hat. Another herb I got is this Vietnamese coriander, which is not botanically it's not a family of the annual coriander or cilantro, but the taste is very similar, so you can use it in the same way. And this is a perennial plant, but it will not, the nursery said it would not survive very severe winters, so they advise to take cuttings and overwintering them outside in case your plant inside in case your plant outside freezes to death. I got 2 of these, and I gifted one to our friends who celebrated their 20th wedding anniversary this weekend, because they like cooking, so I thought it would be nice to give them an unusual herb to try. I also got this rose. It's called Munstead Wood, and it's for my mother for her birthday in August, because I gave her a rose several years ago, but that one froze in one of the more severe Czech winters. So this time I went to a nursery that specialized in roses, and I said I want a rose for my mother, and I want one that has a good scent and that is very hardy. So he showed me several roses, and I chose this one, Munstead Wood, because I love the scent and I also like the color. And we like to, when the roses go over, we like to pick the petals and dry them, use them in mixed teas, for example, or to garnish dishes. The last thing I want to show you are some bulbs that I got from the nursery called Nyssen bulbs, and they had a very beautiful display with flowering alliums and combining them with different perennials to inspire people to use these in their garden. I thought it was really pretty, and of course I bought lots of allium bulbs. And they have also, apart from the pretty well-known one like Allium hollandicum, they had some less common varieties like Miami or Summer Drummer, so that one was funny. And I had lots of these. And Nectaroscordium, which is also a type of allium. I grew these before. I like them very much. I want to plant them under some fruit trees. But I'm most excited about this, and this is Saffron Crocus. I grew that before, but not very successfully. So I'm happy to try again. The bulbs are even organically grown, which I'm happy about. They need a very sunny, well-drained spot. So I hope to be more successful this time. If you have any tips for me how to grow Saffron Crocus, please let me know. This was most of my plant haul. I'll be very busy in the garden in the coming days, trying to find a good spot for everything and planting things out. If you can, I recommend you visit one of these plant festivals. I'll put a link in the description below. Happy gardening!